Hello everyone. So in this tutorial, let's see how to create the NGINX instrumentation integration for Astra Traffic Collector. So first thing first, we'll have to come to the Traffic Connector and under the available integration, our choice is currently NGINX instrumentation and let's click on connect. Connect. It will ask for you to ensure that your target for which you are creating the integration is under the same workspace that you are currently in. So this should match. So currently we are looking for non-Kubernetes infra. Continue. Demo purpose. You can give an optional note here. Yeah. So there are now two cases, Nginx not present and Nginx already present. First, let me take this case, Nginx already present. So here, what we'll have to do is, in summary, we'll have to install the required modules for Nginx to enable instrumentation. Then we'll have to modify the Nginx configuration to include the necessary, change in the configuration so that it can do the open telemetry tracing for the incoming HTTP request and response. And yes, of course, once these changes are then done, then we'll have to restart the Nginx service. And this integration ID, which is registered with Astra, so this will be needed in order to, this ID will be needed during the configuration. So now let's click on this help article. Let us see, and let's carefully follow them. Yeah. So we have got Nginx already present in my VM. This is my case. So first step is taking the backup of current Nginx on configuration. So before this, let me show you that my Nginx configuration is already running. So if I do systemctl status Nginx service, yeah, it says the Nginx service is already running, right? And so if I have to brief you out on the scenario, let me quickly share the screen. Yeah. So yeah, this is how the deployment solution scenario looks like. So this will be customer, whoever is firing their request to the load balancer, Nginx being the load balancer here. And typically the load balancer is forwarding, acting as a reverse proxy. It is forwarding the request to the relevant application web services. So this will be the typical setup with respect to the Nginx when Nginx is chosen as a reverse proxy of the load balancer. Now what we are going to do is we are going to instrument the Nginx in such a way that it will also keep forwarding the request to the backend. No, no impact to the Nginx functionality. But along with that, we'll make the Nginx to send out the hotel traces. The hotel traces are nothing but the data packets which are having the request and response that will be sent to the Astra Traffic Corrector service, which is already running on the same VPC. Now please note that either it could be the Astra Traffic Collector can be deployed on the same VM where the Nginx is currently deployed, or it could be chosen to be hosted in a different VM. The only thing is that the Astra Traffic Collector by default listens on port 4317, and so that means if it is installed in a different VM, the security listings should be allowed in order to access the IP of that VM on port 4317, the TCP traffic. So in order to be secure, it's always advisable to create Nginx and Astra Traffic Collector service in the same VPC. Okay, now let us proceed towards the installation of configure instrumentation of the Nginx. Yeah, this is where we were. First thing first, taking the backup of current Nginx config, which is usually found in. So let me create Nginx instrumentation folder. Yeah, I've done that. It says take a backup. So cp etc nginx nginx.conf to the current place. Yeah, let's verify that vi nginx.conf. Yeah, this is my configuration. If you look at my configuration, it's pretty basic configuration where the server is listening on this port and all the request, whatever I get the request, I'm proxy passing it to the another server which is actively currently handling the traffic on the same VM on the localhost 8009. Okay, So that means that, yeah, I already have the Nginx. Now let us see how to proceed towards making the Nginx to send out the hotel trace. First thing it says is register Nginx repository in your VM by following this. Let me click on this link. It will take you to the, yeah, so in this step what we are doing is we are, so in order to effectively instrument the Nginx configuration, there is a need of two modules, namely uh, Nginx module, hotel module, and then the JavaScript NJS module. So let's install them. So currently my operating system of the VM is Ubuntu. I will be following this as it is. So it will help me to register, yeah, register the Nginx apt repository so that I can use my apt packet manager to install the module seamlessly. First step is done. This is my second step. Done. And finally verification step. Yeah, please note that this should be in this following format: pub, and the encryption algorithm, and the new ID. So something like this. So it has been cleanly given here. The output should contain something like this, the fingerprint. So what we have got just now. So it's absolutely perfect. So last step is we are going to register with respect to the stable nginx packages. So this is the command, copying it and following it. Yes, cool. We are done with this step, right? Coming back to my documentation. So this is the command in order to install the module. Let's install them one by one. So it says unable to locate package. Nginx, 1 minute, sudo apt update. Oh yes, so this is the step that we'll need to run. Sudo apt update, and then sudo apt install. Now let us try to install nginx module. Yeah, it is working perfectly. Yeah, we are done with. Okay, so we'll have to say yes. Cool. So we are done with one, and now let us install the NGS module. Yeah, we are done with that as well. The next step is to create the GA script.js file. So this is the file name which I'll have to create under etc nginx. So let's follow it as it is, sudo vi etc nginx, and then this is the script. Now the content of the script should be this one. Let's copy this and then paste it. Oh, sorry, paste it over here. Done. So we are done with respect to the little bit alignment. Yeah, we are done with this. And the next step is edit the nginx config file with following content to instrument the incoming request. Please note that, yeah, replace your sensor ID with this ID, whatever has been given here, and then replace the IP address of traffic collector with the public IP address of the virtual machine. Yeah, so this is what I was talking earlier. So we'll need the IP address of this Astra traffic collector service. Let's copy this. Once, so yeah, what it is effectively saying is edit the nginx.conf file. So the nginx.conf file is will be available in this place. Or let me, sorry, sudo vi, yeah, okay. So let me remove this. 1 minute. Yeah, I've removed this. I've given this. So one thing which should be noted here is that if you have any customization, uh, this after hash, whatever the three dots that you are seeing is a placeholder for your any customization that you might have previously be having. So retain them as it is, uh, and this is the content which should be there for the Nginx in order to um, you know instrument the incoming HTTP request. So so this is what is needed, but along with this, if you have any other customization, for example, you might be having a different proxy passing for the different location, please feel free to have all those things as it is. Now in this case, so endpoint in my setup will be localhost itself, because that's where the Astra traffic collector service is currently deployed. The default port will be 4317, and also it says sensor ID to be removed and replaced with the sensor ID. Here the sensor ID is this one copied. Let me open this help sheet once again. Yes, it says replace your sensor ID. I have replaced my sensor ID, and proxy pass, as I said, my server was previously running on localhost 8009. I'm going to retain the same. It's not yet done. First let me close this. So now let me look at my original Nginx configuration. So this is why we took the backup. So it said that my server should be listening on 39444. Let me copy this, and yeah, so this proxy pass HTTP localhost 8009, this is already done. So now, sorry, what we'll have to do is we'll have to adjust this. Give me a second. So we will be listening, oh sorry, not here, on the server. Whatever your SSL related configuration can be given here itself, so that's a placeholder. So in this case, let me proceed like this. So my server is listening as once it was doing on 39444, and any request would be proxy passed to localhost 8009. So this is what I have done. Let me just double confirm all my changes are there. Of course it is there. Yeah, my changes are there. The last step is to restart the Nginx. So let me copy this. Super user 2 systemctl. Oh, 1 minute, there is an error. Let us check what is that error is. It says no event sections in configuration. Yeah, I think we have missed events. Cat nginx.conf. Yeah, so this should have been there. Let's copy this. Let me also make a note of this. Done. And after this place, we have to keep that events. Now let us close this, and let's restart Nginx. Now look at the status. Yeah, it's active and it's listening. So effectively, what? Yeah, that's all with respect to the configuration. Uh, instrument we have successfully instrumented Nginx, but now what we'll have to ensure is that uh, this is working as expected. In the sense the Nginx is working as expected. In order to check that, what we can do is let's do a request HTTP localhost 39444. Okay, and um, demo purpose, then yeah, I think they should be good enough. Let us see. Yeah, we got 200 OK response. So that means the request has been accepted. NGINX is doing its duty, but it's also equally important to know that whether the traces, the hotel traces have been generated or not. So in order to do so, let me look at the logs of the Astra traffic collector. This is the one. So docker logs if since the last 2 minutes, let's say. Yep, as you can see here, on the localhost 4317, the Astra traffic service was actively listening, and I can see that whatever the curl request that I did on the URL, that is this demo purpose, has been captured, and yeah, the hotel trace has been generated. Thanks. That's all for this integration. I'll catch you later in another integration. Thank you.